Federer. Premier jeu.
Well, it's a little wrinkle that he sort of brought into his game this year, and well, there was a bit there last year when he tries to hit it long, but he shapes up as though he's going to hit a drop shot forehand and ends up hitting it long, so to try and get the opponent off balance running forward. But this year he's hit a few more forehand drop shots than he has done in the past.
So now the Croatian.
And that's the point that I sort of worry for Ancic throughout the course of this match. Good serve, nothing wrong with that, 200 Ks, but Federer's just going to block it back, get it back to a length, get himself into a baseline rally, and more times than not you feel that Federer will come out on top.
Twice as semi-finalists here. Figueres never quite managing to complete what he was starting. A fine exponent on this surface. Seven, his lucky number. First point after conceding 6. Oh. Thought it was General de Gaulle for a moment. A reincarnation, but not with the cap quite at that skew.
Federer returning the favour on the miss hits, this time with his backhand compared to Ancic's forehand in the opening game.
Ancic.
That's a good play for me, and he obviously has to use it sparingly, otherwise Federer will be aware. But the big three-quarter serve up high onto Federer's backhand and then get in tight behind it, and that's exactly what Ancic was planning to do there.
Against.
Ah, lovely.
Et au 30.
Really did play that well. That was not easy to kill it in the manner that he managed to do there. Ancic just reminding himself there not to get caught up in cross-court exchanges to the forehand side. One or two, fine, but then just change the direction, get some height over the net into Federer's backhand and diffuse the situation.
Antin. Quarante 30. Federer mène par 2-1.
Well, it's the sixth meeting between these two, and the third consecutive in a Grand Slam. 2006 Roland Garros, Federer won in straight sets, and the same year won in straight sets at Wimbledon. Ancic has one success against him, but you've got to go back 6 years to Wimbledon 2002, first round, and Ancic won in straight sets, the middle set of tiebreak.
A little bit of success there for him to have some optimism about in the start of this match, and he'll be pleased to have got out his service game as well, because things were looking a little ominous early on. I just worry for him that he hasn't quite got the weight of shot to get through Federer as the match progresses. It's going to be a fascinating little tussle. He spent a long time with Frederick Rosengren remodelling that forehand, and they've had some wonderful success doing that. That is not an easy thing to do as a professional sports person, whether it be in tennis, golf or anything, change an entire stroke. And it will be interesting to see under intense pressure, and I'm sure that Federer will be working on it, whether it can stand up to it or not.
Quinze 0. Trente 0. 35.
Trying to come in again, and as you can see, Federer there was very still after that passing shot. That was all about hitting the winner there. He wasn't bothering to recover if he didn't hit it well enough. Just lacking a little bit of depth on the approach shot, the Croatian. Well, number one did well to get enough on that approach shot, just to hurry Ancic enough. That was clinical.
De Federer. Federer mène par 3-1.
Ancic's doing well, and it was a rear guard action there just to keep himself in the rally, but you can see Federer worked very hard to A, get the return deep, and then B, get the ball on his forehand, and after that he was in control.
First break. Oof. On the line.
15-0.
His first. Makes it one apiece.
Federer mène par 4-1.
And that's a bit how it is when you're playing Federer. Suddenly 8 points off the reel, and you're 4-1 down.
Yeah, I mean, it's been seen before, and we'll say it again, no doubt, but he is just a truly remarkable tennis player and athlete and sportsman, and all of those things roll into one. And he comes out here, and Ancic hasn't played badly. You have to say the Croatian's come out here and he's done about as well as he can do, but Federer, if he plays well, just has a little too much for the Croatian, and the forehand there, just a little more sting, and you just look at all their sort of attributes, their various attributes, and for Ancic they are many, and one is his competitiveness, his willingness to give it his all, but Federer just simply a better tennis player, unfortunately, and it's certainly a huge challenge for him.
It was interesting that Federer was saying
Time.
he feels comfortable to be in the third round, that you know, he got into the tournament. Also said he was expecting a nice match, and clearly he's playing a guy with whom he's very friendly on the tour. Certainly looking a sharper Federer than in the opening set against Montañez. So a lot for Ancic to do. It's good to see him fit and well and back competing, moving up the ranks. Glandular fever kept him out for 6 months last year.
Not quite sure what's coming at the moment, Ancic. There's been a little bit of everything from Federer, and he's got to guard against a large part of the court because Federer's hit into his backhand, into his forehand.
Well,
that for me is a very good play for Ancic, and it was a wonderful volley. I'm not sure if Federer felt like the ball didn't bounce, but nice and short from the Croatian. Might even like to think about doing that here. Big three-quarter down the middle and get in.
En 15.
It's another fine volley. Both of them really reaching. Put away superbly.
Yeah, lovely balance and movement into that, and right out in front of him as well.
Ancic. Federer mène par 4 jeux à 2.
After his problems with the glandular fever, he then missed the US Open because of a shoulder injury. Went down to, well, was going to go down to Melbourne, and I don't think he actually went for the Australian Open this year and had stomach problems. So, hasn't had a lucky run.
15.
No, he's definitely due a period of good health. There's no doubt about that, Ancic.
En deuxième.
Couple of heavies wheeled up.
En 15.
Any easing off from Federer, and Ancic is playing well enough, you feel, to take advantage of it.
En 40.
Big chance for the Croatian. And he won't get too many. was already moving off the other way. This guy is from Federer.
Égalité.
Oh, shame.
Avantage Federer.
Just a reach too far that time. Too far and over the line.
Federer. Changement de balle ramasseur, s'il vous plaît.
Beauty
Balle
of the
Federer
way.
mène par 5 jeux à 2.
You know, you felt he had time to make himself a cup of tea there before playing it.
He did. He probably shouldn't have done, to be fair, Barry. Both players were a little tentative. I mean, the drop shot wasn't the greatest. Ancic sort of fed the forehand, and you thought, well, that's the end of the point. And then Federer guided it back, and then you thought, well, Ancic is going to stick this away, but he also didn't. It became one of those sort of rallies where neither player was sort of able to really sort of go after it, but Federer just one shot better, and that really is the story of this opening sort of 25 minutes, is that he's just managed to find the right shot at the right time. I mean, you think of that forehand he had in the last game on the break point down, and that's such a great strength to have. I mean, he's missed 3 forehands in that game. He gets himself down a break point, but he still does the right thing. He still backs himself to make that forehand to save the game, and that's exactly what happened.
And that confirms that there's another Frenchman, 5th.
Time.
With Julian Beneteau getting the better of Alejandro Falla. Another long match. Several long matches today. Beg your pardon, that was obviously yesterday's match, yes, because he's playing Robin Söderling of Sweden. And Söderling is up 6-1 in the first set, Beneteau 4-3 second.
15-0.
Another Croatian out on court number 1. Ivan Ljubicic, down 2 sets to love against Nikolai Davydenko, is now a break up in the 5th set.
On 0. 45.
Don't know, there could be an argument there for trying to keep Federer's forehand nice and cold before the next game, where the world #1 could be serving it out. And had Ancic tried to get that one in up high to the backhand and get in and hit the volley, he might have been able to go in there with a little lack of confidence on that side, looking for any sort of chinks in the armour.
Ancic. Federer mène par 5-2-3.
This is a good play, and well, it's good to see that Ancic has sort of come out here with a good game plan, a good strategy. He's not going to just sit at the back of the court and sort of wait to see if Federer will miss. He's trying to impose his game on the world #1. Just a couple of times unable to finish what have been good points. The build-up play has been fantastic.
Foul! 15.
So right on the half an hour. 2 set points for Federer. Pretty classy way to finish.
6-3.
But a very enjoyable half an hour of tennis, even if the result of that set at least looked inevitable.
Very much so. I mean, I think that both these guys come out here to play and get on the front foot, don't wait to sit back, and I think that makes it an enjoyable encounter. I think the tennis today on Chatrier at times perhaps hasn't lived up, although I have to say the end of the match with Monfils and Meltzer certainly got the crowd interested in everybody else here. Wonderful comeback for the Frenchman, but this has certainly been a nice exhibition of men's tennis at its best. Some good numbers for both players, and I think Ancic should feel proud of what he achieved in that opening set. It's always going to be a little difficult for him, and you can see him there just sort of nodding his head. He's somebody that's never going to give up. He's never going to drop his head, and he will get opportunities, but the big question is, can he hang on to his serve enough so that when those opportunities do come around, that will feel pressure. Federer just looking up at the big scoreboard there. I don't know if you can do the translation of that, but it's certainly it's the phrase of the day. I can read that bit.
Just working it out, and they took it off. But I was only about a third of the way. I'm not kidding you too much. So Ancic to open the second set.
There hasn't been a huge difference so far, but if you were to look at that particular point in isolation, that would be the difference. Federer not making any mistake on the finishing shot. Great change of direction from Federer, perhaps waiting for that serve. Maybe he's starting to read that serve from Ancic, the kicker out wide, guided it up the line.
Henderson.
Good imagination showed there by Ancic. The obvious shot was just to knock it deep and then try and cover, but found the winner.
Égalité. Avantage Ancic.
No mistake this time from Ancic. Federer unable to get enough on that return of serve for once.
Ancic pour les jeux deuxième manche.
Good hold for the creation. Did what he did in his opening service game of the first set. Took him a little longer. There's much to admire in his play.
Yeah, very much so, and also just coming out here and looking like he belongs. He's not come out here just to make up the numbers, and again, probably because Federer's lost a few more matches this year than he has done in the past, that maybe there's an added extra little bit of belief for most players. But he recovered nicely on a particular double-hander in that last game just to keep Federer at bay.
Indication that it's got a bit chillier in the evening. His coach now had the top on.
Ancic. Yes. De Federer. Un jeu partout.
Well, another good service game, and one thing that Federer does is never rest on his laurels. He's always thinking of doing something different, plenty of variety, but at the back of his mind he's always got what he would do in a big point situation, and at the moment Ancic struggling a little bit to find a way effectively into Federer's serve. He's got so many ways of hurting you, and once again a rapid attack from the world number one, catching Ancic unawares.
A little fortunate then for the Croatian.
Good determination just to get the ball back one more time. Had a little help from Federer's forehand already in this match, just to stay in contention.
35. Ancic. Ancic mène par 2-1.
Very good play by the Croatian. Quite nice to see, from his point of view, managing to get back behind Federer.
Yeah, he finally got a little bit of pace on this one, and Federer not often caught off balance, but you can see there he was struggling to recover his ball, was trying to get back to the middle as quickly as he could, but Ancic's taking that one on, and well, the longer he stays level or ahead on serve in this second set, his chances look. It's difficult sort of put into some sort of perspective for Federer's point of view as well, as it's such a different match to the one potentially he could face in the final against Nadal, but he's just got to find a way to keep concentrating on each individual opponent as he comes through. Staring intently at the big screen at the moment. Larry Passos, Gustavo Kierton's coach, or former coach should I say, now that the Brazilian has officially retired. Stick that in one of the museums that litter Basel. Absolute work of art, that one. Going backwards away from the court. Pinpoint accuracy.
What? 40-0. Federer. 2 jeux partout.
Cheap game, but one which contained one of those which you were talking about the other day. Balance going backwards was unreal. Shot wonderful. Feel Croatian beware here, but then he knows that.
He's made another good job of a very difficult situation. Ancic has shown some lovely touch on that backhand side.
Good play again.
32-0.
Federer initially thought he was going down the line. So a lot of on, and he's matching it with the odd flash of brilliance.
It's been a very thoughtful match so far.
Ancic.
One love match by another. Cliche is that he's hanging in there, but he's actually doing rather more than that, isn't he?
Very much so. I mean, he's keeping Federer at bay, and that's not an easy. And I've just really enjoyed the way that he about it, because you know, if you do play one style against Federer, you probably are going to end up on the wrong side of the scoreline. But Ancic has some weapons in his serve. Not afraid to come in. We always wonder why he doesn't come in perhaps a little bit more at times, but certainly in this match he's looked to venture forward. He hasn't just stayed on the baseline. He's used very smartly. He's put in some very heavy kick serves at around 150 k's. He's put some big serves in at just over 200, but he the whole time he's just trying. Federer guessing about what's coming next. You made a great point of how he went back behind Federer there. He didn't go with the obvious shot, and he's really tried to outthink Federer and outwit him, because he doesn't necessarily have the weight of shot to go. I
was just thinking, Mark, not the drama obviously or the involvement for the crowd of the last match, but the tennis of a much higher quality.
As far as I can tell, bit of a chilly evening, but it'll be hard for tennis in this.
15-0. On 0.
Yeah, it's just exceptional.
Points against the server. Pretty hard to come by in this set. Ancic, one against Federer in the second game, one against Ancic in the third. Since then, not a sign. But it's not crash bang wallop, it's anything but. Sequence broken. With what consequence? We shall see.
Well, he's done a great job of keeping out of that channel there with no pace on it and allowing Federer that type of luxury, and that's why he was so frustrated with himself. Apologies for anybody that understood what he said.
What?
Bit of confidence from the Croatian, having lost 2 points. Determination, he was going to come in on that and managed it. Got the error.
Well, it certainly hasn't all been about pace today. You can see Ancic trying to do the same things he had done the previous point, but he tried to get it into Federer's body, but it was a kicker. It just curled into the hitting zone.
So suddenly, break points appear.
Federer. Changement de balle, ramasseur, s'il vous plaît, balle 9. Yubos. Federer mène par 4 jeux à 3.
He just steals up on you in the night, doesn't he? You think it's all very comfortable, you're doing all right, and then suddenly, where am I?
And he's so nice about it as well. But as you say, I mean, it really came from nowhere. But just give him a little bit of an opportunity to deliver with that forehand side, and it is just so deadly. And yes, he missed a few earlier on in the match, but the great thing about him is that when he sees that little opportunity, that little window for that forehand to go into, so many times he will make it. And Ancic, again, I don't think played a bad game particularly, maybe not first serves as he would have liked, but still, again, played with variety, and Federer just having that extra little bit of genius that he can use winners, whereas Ancic has to work very hard for his points. More French hope as well. I can tell you that Julien Benneteau was a set down 6-1 to the Swede Robin Söderling, and then was also having to break to stay in the second set at 6-5, did so, and then took the tie-break at 8-6. So what a championships this is turning out to be for the French. Set a piece then on Suzanne Longmont.
Must have heard that I'd already got him through to the next round.
Pushed him back with the first couple, and then found some room, and you could see that Ancic was forced to scamper out wide.
40-0.
What?
De Federer. Federer mène par 5-2-3.
Three love games on the first in this set, and then the other one he dropped just 1 point.
You can't really argue that Ancic, isn't playing well, because he's just unable to touch the ball half the time. You look at the second serve that Federer hit, first point of the last game. He's keeping Ancic back because he went out wide to the forehand side. He just hasn't really allowed any to develop.
Thanks.
Just feel as though it's got to that stage where Federer's forehand looks to be. Whenever they get into that type of exchange, Ancic very quickly has got to go high down the line into Federer's backhand and change it up. A couple of umbrellas have just gone up, so I hope the rain that they predicted isn't actually coming.
Ancic. Federer mène par 5-2-4.
Tremendous finish to this player. He just doesn't quite have enough of these in his bag when he comes on against Roger Federer, you feel, and you see the big swing there, and it all looks good, and I think they've made some great changes to that. And the same explosiveness off the court as Federer's does, and he again is perhaps just a little limited by that shot against the best players on this surface.
Well, he's done the easy bit, now he's got the difficult bit.
yeah, to get a point would probably be a start. Will be another thing. I tell you now, it's raining reasonably hard, but Federer, I'm sure, would like to get this game under his belt.
No movement from either player. No
Time.
apparent concern. But one or two have moved from their seats, not least in the VIP area. Serving for a 2-sets-to-love lead. Roger Federer. In the end, it wasn't as clean as he would have wished. Oh, he's disappointed with that, because he did give him a bit of a chance. Surprised by
Accuracy on his serve in this set, though, Barry.
mess. He'll have to begin again in set 3. 3 set points.
Deuxième manche, Federer. Jeux à 4.
Well, defiance to be admired, trumped by sheer brilliance.
I mean, what can you say about that forehand at the end of a rally like that? I mean, did so much good work in that point. That ball stopped. I mean, it was actually just almost staying. I mean, Ancic had to applaud that. I mean, that was a rocket off his racket, and it was just right. Just had the first one saved with a wonderful forehand by Ancic. Federer didn't want to get any glimmer, and a little look up to his spot. Very rarely do you almost see Federer. He knew how good that forehand was. And that Ancic can play as well, and you got to feel for the Croatian. He's come out here and he's put the best of his tennis onto court, and unfortunately for him, he's a couple of sets down already. Got to admire him for his fortitude, for his thoughtfulness, but ultimately to no avail so for the Croatian. Look at that, 14 winners and 2 unforced errors, and for once I think that that's probably about right. They have been generous on the unforced errors, but that about right for a set of tennis that was virtually flawless.
Increasing number of umbrellas in the up position. Very few leaving. Croatian now in red.
nothing failing Federer, but words fail me when he hits shots like this.
What?
He's played plenty of good shots in this match, Ancic. That's the first one I have to say I did like one, because Federer was already aware, he was leaning forward, waiting for it. I think he needed to drive that one.
That is pitiful, that replay. That's the point in making it appear downhill. It's total nonsense. As I hasten to add, no BBC director worth his salt would do that, I don't think. Okay, that's my grumpy old man bit.
Federer. Premier jeu, troisième manche.
Have to have sympathy for the man in red.
Well, you do, but you also have to admire willingness also just to matches and defend, and he's got in rallies like that where he feels as though he's got to be the one that really has to command and take it on. It is his natural way of playing, but he's also happy just to outlast his opponents, and that's exactly what he did in that point.
15-0.
Six of the best.
What?
Oh, wonderful.
Well, exhibition tennis and another blistering backhand up the line, and once again the drop shot.
Cedric Murier. First time he's had to get from his chair. I'm not sure whether the applause is for him or for his verdict. Second serve.
Tougher volley than it looked. No pace, dropping quickly. Federer prowling around, but that's one of the reasons why Federer hasn't hit too many second serves into that backhand side, is because that is one of Ancic's favourite plays. Double-hander coming behind it.
Federer mène par 2-0.
8 minutes to love. Showing some lovely touch at times.
30-0.
Yeah, and you know you're going to get 110% from Ancic, and here again, working, getting Federer out wide. Again, you can't fault doing the right thing there, taking it on, but Federer just able to accelerate enough and a little lucky off the top of the tape as well.
Égalité.
Well, he's tried absolutely everything, and he's left no avenue unexplored in the operation. I bet he can't wait to get a bit of grass under his feet.
Égalité.
That's miss. Serve.
Avantage Ancic.
Probably Easy to say. Well played.
Ancic. Federer met par 2 jeux.
Well, considering what we've seen, a couple of very wild forehands from Federer.
Yeah, almost got a little carried away there. Great point. You feel as though he was enjoying his tennis so much that he felt as though he could take on that ball above shoulder height and crack it for a winner. And the way that he was playing at that stage, he probably could have done, but he didn't. And he's allowed Ancic into this final set, and good for him, good for us as well. As you do wonder whether Federer can continue this phenomenal serving that he's managed to produce in this match in terms of the accuracy. Well, I don't know if that tells us anything at all, because all it says is that Federer's better in every single rally. Short, long or medium.
That's the thing with statistics. To be looked at before they're offered to the public.
Well, Robin Soderling, who lost that second set having served for it, does have a tendency to at times fall away in matches, but you wouldn't really expect it here at the French Open, but fall away he has, and in dramatic style. Beneteau winning the third set 6-love, so the Frenchman now 2 sets to 1 up against the Swede.
Second Frenchman today getting a bagel, of course. Morphis managed it on this court against Jürgen Melzer, Austrian, whom he finally beat in 5.
Zero.
Must be getting used to playing in a little bit of a drizzle. Had 10 games the other evening.
40.
In fact, it's only raining winners though, isn't it?
Very good.
Federer. Federer mène par 3 jeux à 1.
7.
I wonder whether it's a stat that worries Ancic when he comes off a match like this, that Federer's out-aced him 8-2 at the moment. You think of the Croatian height, you feel as though it should be one of his real strengths, but not getting enough cheap points.
He knew that was a losing battle, but he couldn't get out of it. If they'd have had one more to and fro, he'd have been sitting in the front row of the public.
Great vision once again from Federer to his opponent come. irresistible at the moment.
3 chances for the double break to head home.
Federer. Federer mène par 4 jeux à 1.
Applauded from the rooftops. She seemed to hold me on clap.
Yeah, this is it's been a real turnaround since he lost that opening set to Montañez. He's really sort of started to find top gear in this tournament, Federer, and I think find top gear for the year as well. He's talked a lot about how he felt as though it was going to be a difficult year with the Olympics and that he needed to pace himself correctly and feel energized for the big events, and well, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to his own personal performance, and it would seem that he's timed it nicely. Yes, he's going to have tougher tests ahead in this event, but you know, Ancic posed a few problems today and he has dispatched him with ease.
I would have thought that of the 7 defeats that he's suffered this year, Federer, there's only the one in Melbourne which would have really upset him, to lose in the semi-final of the Australian Open.
I agree. I think absolutely he had chances in that one, but at the end of the day, if there was one tournament that he could win this year above everything else, it must surely be this one.
4-1, third set.
15-0.
Played.
Great width in this rally from Ancic. There's a precious few opportunities to really do that. And again, you see, so deep behind his baseline, just the quality of hitting from Federer.
So we got some idea how you feel, but only some. Can he play? He took a bit of pace off that, and Federer giving his opponent a break point.
Which he enjoyed momentarily.
Égalité.
From the Croatian.
Avantage Ancic.
Certainly had his moments in this match, but it's a quality of play that he's unable at the moment to sustain, and that's what he would have to do against this man. Oh, but he's got his break of and deserves it.
New balls. Federer par 4 jeux à 2.
And every time that Federer's forehand has gone off a little bit and he's missed a few shots, yeah, Ancic has been close. I mean, and I think that says a lot about the way that he's played. You can be proud of the way that he's played out here. And right now, Federer just thankful that he did manage to get that second break. Quick decision to make here, Federer, whether to go deep with the volley or short. Pick the right one. A little too pedantic setting up for that and a little too predictable. He's actually probably a little fortunate that he got enough time on the ball to try and attempt this pass, but didn't connect with it. Off the end of the racket there from Ancic.
En 40. Federer. Federer mène par 5 jeux à 2.
The last time to sit down and contemplate. I have to say that sometimes I find I'm mesmerized by the movement of Federer's feet. I mean, he's a ballet dancer for a man of his size and the other strengths that he has.
Yeah, he moves incredibly well on all surfaces, and he says it's the one thing that needs to be right for him. Well on clay, it's why he went a week early to Estoril, just to get used to it once again. Such is his determination to one day win this event, and I think you can see here today, you know, Ancic, there's no way through for him often enough. There's an occasional way through, but to do it over 5 sets for Mario Ancic on this surface is just too difficult. He's done the best that he can do, which isn't exactly what Robin Soling seems to be doing out on Suzanne London at the moment.
Time.
He's just lost, well, if you include the tiebreaker, I think he's lost the last 11 games.
The plot.
That's a better description.
Serving for the match.
15-0.
Roger's father.
Point. 15.
His first double. In fact, the first double of the match.
30-15. Honda.
Three.
C'est le match Federer. 6-3, 6-4, 6-2.
Well, crowd appreciating that display really from Federer. Ancic was game, and let's hope that he can make a full recovery after a spate of injuries. Saw him miss nearly a year from the game and get back to his best. But this afternoon was really all about Roger Federer. Even the groundsmen are applauding him as they take their way out onto centre court to tend to it. It really was a magical display.